application, and a lot about Wildtree, is if you already have your stuff out, you might as well utilize it. Instead of just doing one meal, you can actually make multiple meals at the same time, put some in the freezer, one's marinating for tonight, that sort of thing. So we're literally just going to start at the top of the page. So the first thing we're going to make is the chicken Provençal, and I think you guys have heard that a lot of times I just buy frozen chicken. It's flash frozen, so they are separated, and that's easier when you know you're going to go ahead and put it in the freezer. So I keep them frozen, and I'm just going to start with that. The other thing that I do, and you can see all of the ingredients right here, the other thing that I do, because I'm lazy and I don't like to cry with onions, is I buy the pre-diced onions. That's a time saver and
Definitely a time saver.
And a crying saver.
You want me to interject now?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to put the chicken in a piece of Tupperware. It's called one of our freezer mates. This is the medium, excuse me, the medium container. Anyway, it's the medium tall as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, this one here, to give you an example, I'm putting 2 in there. Those are huge.
I know that's my
Anyway,
too.
I don't always buy Tupperware to demonstrate for you, but this particular line came out in 1989. And the reason why I know is because I've got special Tupperware that has it on it that I earned. So it's going into this container. When you put things away in your freezer mates, what's nice is it stacks nicely into the freezer, and you can select it. You can also label it. If you're going to label it on one end that's going to stick out or face you in your freezer. If you happen to have a drawer freezer, label the top like I do. So you can run a piece of clear tape right across the top and then just write on it if you want. Remember, with tape, it'll come off easy. If you use those other labels, even the ones that we have, you need to take them off as soon as you pull it out of the freezer, because once it starts to thaw, you can forget it.
Yeah, it sticks on there.
Okay.
So tape is good, but that's why we don't have stickers going on the front. So the next thing I need is a cup of diced onions. Did you like how quickly I chopped those? So I'm literally just sprinkling those in. Since Anita has this fabulous knife and cutting board, I'm going to have her cut up 4 Roma tomatoes, just diced, to put in there. And while she's doing that,
anyway,
while she's putting her gloves on, I'm going to use her handy-dandy measuring spoons, which, by the way, sit on the table instead of falling over, to measure out my Italian salad dressing mix, which is the spices here, as well as the oil. And again, I'm just putting them directly into this container.
While we're doing that, if you look at my little cutting mat here, we did have these mats and these knives for sale in sets of 4. I mean, they were 4 mats, different colors, one for each preparation type thing. So this one's for vegetables, and this knife is green, so it matches it, so you can use it. All of our knives that are featured in the catalog, you'll notice, have nice little sheath coverings for them, and that's so that when you pull them in and out of the drawer, or if you're taking them with you like I do, you don't cut yourself. And these are very sharp, so you have to be very careful.
Can those mats go in the dishwasher?
Yes. Now, they're not in the catalog right now, so what I'm saying to you is the next time you see them, order them. And what I like about them is the fact that even when you're chopping up stuff or cutting them up, and I would normally have something here if I wasn't doing it, if I was doing it for a larger group, I'd be using one of our chopping selections in the catalog. Can't even think of what it's called, the chopping 4? Anyway.
Right.
Am I dicing all 4?
Well, theoretically.
Theoretically.
So while she's dicing, I have everything else in here. We're going to add the tomatoes, and then we're literally just going to put the lid on top, and that's ready for you to put in the freezer. The great part about the freezer meals, where you're putting everything together, is when you pull this out the night before, the day before, and let it thaw in the refrigerator, that's also marinating the meat that's in there. or veggies or whatever you have in there. So it helps with tenderness. It also helps with flavor. So that is one reason to do the freezer meals. It also helps with time and planning.
Okay, the next thing is, with these mats, you can cone shape them. And, you know, this is what's nice about all of our mats. And these have a different texture on one side, and they're a different texture on the opposite side, so that you will know exactly how to use them. So the next time we have these for sale, which will probably be in the near future, be sure you buy them.
So while she's continuing with the dicing, I'm actually going to move on to the next meal. And one of the things I want you guys to notice is I have 3 Wildtree products up here. And I have 4 meal ideas for those 3 products. So right now we're going to do the balsamic steak. So I'm just going to put all of the ingredients into this shaker so that I can then shake it up together. It's the shake and go. And using again the measuring cups and measuring spoons for the balsamic steak. So I need oil. And if you're using, remember as far as cooking oils and smoke points, if you're using this as a marinade, it's better to use the grapeseed oil because you're going to be putting it on a grill, which is high heat. If you are using it as a salad dressing, it's totally fine and acceptable to either use vegetable oil, olive oil, whatever you have on hand as well, because it's going to be staying at the lower temperatures.
A quick note, she wouldn't have had to use that measuring cup if you're using the quick shake, because the measurements are right on the outside, so she could have poured her oil straight into here. So I'm just interjecting that.
That would have been good for me to think of before.
Can you read the measuring easy on the side?
Yes. When you're in your own kitchen and not in
Yes.
under this light.
Yes. No, it's good. So I'm now going to add just 2 tablespoons of the salad dressing mix. And the other thing that I wanted to make sure you guys knew is that the recipe for Italian salad dressing is on the side of the jar. So just like with all of the Wildtree ingredients, all of the Wildtree products, there's always a recipe on the jar, on the label, so that you at least have one recipe of how to use that product. And then we're going to do a 1/3 cup of the balsamic. Now, you can use several different kinds of vinegar to make the actual dressing. I love the balsamic version. Apparently, I really like balsamic. And when I make it as a marinade, I actually leave the water out. So I'm going to shake this. Okay, now we have dressing. And so we're going to use this freezer mate for the steaks, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I just bought 2 little quick beef rounds, and I'm going to put those in the bottom here. And this is why I'm using my prep gloves. Throwing that out. And then here, let me take this off so I can show you guys better. Then I'm literally pouring this on top. Now this is going to be dinner for tonight. So I'm just going to let that marinate. So that's how easy that one was.